Good evening, and thank you for joining me as we get ready to go into our Bible study. Thank you for joining us, and we welcome the Holy Spirit as our teacher and guide tonight. We know our discussion tonight is going to be coming from the experiences that God has given us for our discussion. There's two in our lesson tonight. One is coming from Job chapter 1, and then Exodus chapter 7 through 15. With Job 1, we're talking about Job, and God told Satan that he could use Job, his servant, who was an upright man and a perfect in God's eyesight, and one who feared him, in order for him to see if he would deny God. And of course, Job was tested at that time when Satan put boils on him from his head to his toe, but he never did deny him. God allowed him to use him, but he did not allow him to touch his soul. So he took everything that Job had. He took his 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 oxen, and he took his household of all of his servants, everything that Job had. He even had his children, 7 sons and 3 daughters. During a windstorm that came through and destroyed the house where they were all celebrating, and then the fire from heaven came and took their sheep. The Sanhedrin and the Sabanians, they came and took the men and the camels away. So, everything Job had, there was destruction, and someone came and told Job about him. And immediately he just went and shaved his head and bowed down and started worshiping God. The thing that he wanted Satan to know, I came into this world with nothing, and I'm going to leave out with nothing. Everything that I have is because God blessed me with. That's our lesson he wanted us to know. And he also, another lesson is that he's sharing whatever he had, he shared with someone. When someone didn't have their blessings, when they was going through their trials and tribulations, their tests and their suffering, Job opened his door to them. He gave them food, he gave them shelter, and he clothed them. And he let God know that, he don't know why he was put to the test, because he helped humankind here on earth. But God is telling us we're going to go through something here on earth. And with the lesson with the Israelites, when they went through through Egypt, they preferred that they had stayed with Pharaoh and be his slaves instead of going through the 9 plagues. And those plagues were the boils, the bloody waters, the frogs, the lice, the locusts, darkness. He also went through the sickness from the cattle and what that was for the men and for the cattle, those diseases that they went through. And also they had pestilence and gnats, those things that they went through. But God's hand was on them as well, and he was there with them, because he took them as a cloud by day and fire by night to take them through that wilderness experience. And what God is telling us today, like for Job, everything that Job had, God gave it back to him, because he did not sin and he did not deny his God. So he gave him everything, his whole family back, everything that he had in abundance. And then for the children of Israel, he took them to the promised land that he had promised them that they were going to, receive. And for us today, we go through our own trials and tribulations, and God is letting us know if we just hold on and keep the faith, then he has a promise for us as well. Because in John chapter 14 verses 2 and 3, he said,